G'day guys, prospectors and gold hunters everywhere. And I have been playing around with these older GP detectors still. And this is a GP 3500. And what I've done with this one, I've increased the sensitivity more so. And I've also moved that microphone, which is getting squashed by the detector. And I've also improved the ground balance, and I've put some extra controls on here. This one has a variable frequency. We have extra programming or programmed segment in the EEPROM, switch by this switch here. We call that sensitive 2. So it's got a sensitive position on the detector and on one of the switches here. And this is an extra one. It does a different timing. We've just connected it up on the EEPROM, pulled out the grounding resistor and hooked it in there. And what else have we done? Oh, that's right. We've got variable dual channel to within about half a dB of variable gain on the front end. So it's got a lot of work done on this detector. But the big thing is, and this is what I set myself. I'm just going to hold this like so, and hopefully you can see that. That is, I don't know if you can see that, it's very small and it's in that hot melt glue. But if you compare that to my fingers there, 0.012. And it was actually coming up as 0.01, but I gave it a 1.2 because it was a little bit of drift. I still haven't found my really good scales. My really good carat scales will, not as in Bugs Bunny carrot, but carats as in they're actually made for diamonds. They will measure that tiny bit of gold in there and give you an idea. We'll turn this around this way. There's my standard 0.05 there. You can see that. And here is that minuscule thing in there. So you get an idea how small that is. It's very tiny. PI detectors, normal, for up to now will not get that. They will not get that. But they will now. This one does. And I'll turn it on and I'll give a demo of this tiny little speck of, it's actually reef gold, by the way. So it's airy-fairy, it's very light, and it's very hard to detect. Normal detectors will not detect it. Actually, I could try it on the gold monster. It should be able to detect it. I just might do that first. I'll let my little booster warm up there. I'll just grab the gold monster. Bear with me. Come here, Mr. Gold Monster. I've got this on the front camera, so it's going to be hard to do. But anyway, whoops, God. I wish I had the collapsible stem on this one because it just wants to whack everything in the whole place. But yeah, that's the, if you can see it, that's a gold monster. I've just got it back here. Yep, go to detect on my bench. I've got it on maximum sensitivity, not auto or anything, but maximum. And we'll just see what it does. It can't detect it. I'm not joking. Hang on. I'm going to have to move the camera to do this, but I'm going to have to give you a bit of a demo. Oh, dear me, it's going to be noise central. I know to do this very slowly because otherwise people will. Hang on. Oops. Nearly hit the light on the roof. Whoops, there we go. We're detecting the ladder. So that's the setting I've got it on there. You can see that. So I'll bring it round. It'll probably go a bit bonkers. Oh, dear me. Okay. there it is, 0.012. Scrape the coil. Won't pick it up there. It's just very, very in the noise. We have a saying for that. Weak as. Weak as something. Hang on, I'll put it in. Jesus Christ, hang on. Okay, I'll put it in silent mode. We'll try it. Just, it's not going to make any difference anyway, is it really? You'd be hard pressed to get that. Oh dear me, the power of VLFs. And like I say, now I'll just put that here. I'll get my 0.05, the 0.05 gram. Gets that. Anyway, I'll turn this off because it's too bulky to play with that big stem on it. Wish it was made so it would collapse. Anyway, back to this detector. I'll do this slowly because everyone says if I do it too fast, you'll get motion sickness. Speaking of motion sickness, I had a ride on the steam train today. That was quite good. Went from Ballarat to Lel and back. And yeah, I love the smell of coal at 8 a.m. in the morning. Very, very nice. Okay, I'll turn this detector on. Hopefully it just settles down nicely. Should do. I'll turn the booster on full. God, it's quiet, isn't it? Now I might put the other microphone on and I'll stick it near the speaker because I can hardly hear that detector. And you definitely probably will not be able to hear it. Okay, the other microphone's on. I've got the speaker there buried somewhere. Got to find it. Hang on. It's over there. Okay. There's that. That's near the speaker. Okay, now I've got to take this up in the air. I really didn't allow for doing this actually this time around. I've got the legs down. But we can do it. We can do it. Now, everything on here is the highest frequency, the highest gain, and it's in the extra sensitive mode. So I'll give you an idea. I'll just crank this up. If I can find the handle around there. I'll try and get it up because we went out to the forest and did some videos yesterday, and I haven't redone this. But anyway, we'll get up here. And round we go. Oh dear me. And I'll just lock this. I should have put the legs up. They're very short. Anyway, I'll just angle it up. There we go. Something like that. The oscilloscope probe's in there so I can look at the transmit waveform off the coil. No big deal. Okay, we'll just do the normal ones. We'll try it with, well, how about we do this? Consider I've got it. We'll use 0.1 gram for starters. Basically overloads on that. I'll still use this. 0.05. Like I say, if we are out in the bush and got away from all the noise, it'd be better. Notice how the detector got noisy as soon as I lifted up the camera. Typical, isn't it? I just turn that light off. No. Now I got some switch mode plug packs in again. I'll just pull them out. I don't know how good Apple are with their plug packs, so I'll rip this out. having a look around. What else is on? Just lights, LED lights, but they've got switch modes in them anyway. So, okay, no detector gets that. Well, hardly. 0.012. I don't know if I can focus on that, but anyway, it's in there. It's in that hot melt glue. We're not going to get it very high because it's such a tiny bit of gold. And also, the coils on the actual active coils on the bottom of this, not the top. So add a centimetre. And the all important thing, now because this is cranked up, we can get that. Can we tune out hot ground? Very, very, very important. Otherwise, that doesn't exist. So what we'll do, I'll just get this and I'll flick it. I'll stick my head in the way and I'll stick it from, fix the tracking. There's a little bit of residual there, but I wouldn't worry about that. I mean, the ground isn't made out of that. I mean, there's just a hot rock. Actually, do it really fast. Yeah, doing it fast like that's forced it out of ground balance. So I'll just redo it. I think I'll do it one more time. Oh. Yeah, it'll ground balance, not a problem. So, but that's on flat out gain, by the way, too. Now the thing is, can we detect that very small piece of gold, which I've just put down somewhere? I can't see where I put it down because I was distracted with the hot rock. That's funny, isn't it? You guys probably saw where I put it down. I can't see it in here. Hang on a sec. I'm going to turn the gain down a little bit on this. I'll turn down to about half. So it's very quiet now, of course. That's about half gain. Like I say, even to 0.05, no problem. But what I've got to do now, oh, is that it there? Yeah, there it is. There, it was standing like that. I couldn't see it edge on. I was looking for the black writing. So 0.012. God, it's a smooth detector, this one. At half gain, we can still get that. We can run full gain out in the bush, not a problem. It'll probably be just as quiet. Now remember, it's not a big target, 0.012 of a gram. And that is just, yeah, it's a very, very hard to detect target anyway. But yeah, the gold monster has a difficult time getting that anyway on full gain, full manual gain. So actually, you know what I would love to do, and I might do it. I might put on an equivalent size coil and try the GP 3500, which has had all the mods done to it, and compare it against the GPX 6000. And I don't know how the GPX 6,000 will go on that. But like I say, if this was all set to normal, just a basic bog standard came out the factory, there's no way known it would detect that, not in a million years. They're actually, these detectors are very hard pushed to even get that 0.05. I think in my old video I've done it on some of them. I've had to scrub the coil to actually get a sound, whereas this we're getting into VLF detector territory here. But the thing is too that we can still get big targets easy. We're in cancel, so I'm gonna have field cancellation in cancel mode. In mono, it'll blitz. It'll just or double D even, but because of the noise in the workshop or any running any detector like a PI detector inside a house is a fool's errand unless you have cancel mode. Otherwise, you just can't do it. It's just too much. All the electricity noises, all the appliance noises, your neighbours, that whatever. Your detector coil is just going to intercept that, and it's just going to sit there and howl like a coyote, and or worse. So yeah, that's that. So we'll put the gain back up again. Okay. Oops. I've got the pot wires sitting in the transmit wires. I better move them. I think it got a bit confused then. Normally I don't have the wires dangling across the power supply and the transmitter like it's doing now. It's probably causing issues. But just to prove a point, when it's all mounted up properly, that issue won't be there. But oops. Yeah, not a problem. I'd say out in the field, even in cancel mode out in the field, without that noise, it'll pick it up even further. That should not be an issue. So, we'll get this back down this way again, over here. Woo. Oh, actually, I don't want to bend that down. I just want to undo it and drop it. So we'll just do that. Undo that, and very slowly go down. Now, you can see there that the ICs have been replaced on the top of that detector. And a lot of people get it wrong what they are. I've seen it people write down thinking there's something and there's something different. Now, hang on a sec. I'll turn that off. I'll turn this off too. And think about these detectors. I hate the way the on-off switch is part of the threshold. You like to set the threshold and go, well, that's nice. And every time you get to turn it on and off, you wreck the threshold position. So you got to readjust it. Yeah, but anyway, old detector. No one cares less about that anymore. And I'll just turn this other microphone off because I don't need it. Probably make echoes or something, I don't know. But yeah, those chips there, a lot of people think, I've seen it written down and they always get the numbers wrong. So it might be something worth clearing up for everybody and just, yeah, let people know what they are. I know people ask, but like I say, these are all detectors and it's no damn secret what they are. I'll just make sure I read the numbers right too. Sometimes if I don't put on my eyeglasses, 8s look like 9s and 6s. So I better do that. Okay. What they are, I'll tell you what they are if you really want to know what they are. I know what they are. They're little chopper amplifiers, zero drift amplifiers. And they're linear technology 1050s, if you want to know, 1050. Because I always have people ask me, oh, can you give me all the parts list for the detector? And I go, no. No. But some parts I can tell you. But yeah, basically, where that part of the circuit is there, you see those big capacitors in there. All that stuff is made so it's very, very stable. They're polypropylene capacitors, very low dissipation, low leakage. and to stop any drift after the signal's been amplified up and basically drift between channels, use these. These are basically chopper amplifiers, zero drift, or meant to be zero drift, very low drift. So the detector, when you're using it, the threshold's not going whoa, like a haunted movie or something like that. Now I'm very good at these sound effects, aren't I? I could probably sound like a detector if I wanted to, but I'm not going. No, it's mucking around. Yeah, so that's that. This one here, like I say, there's a lot of work done. I'm not going to lift it up. I'm not going to stretch the wires, but it's got extra boards in it and modified up for variable frequency. So if you want to see variable frequency, I'll give you an example of variable frequency. If you look at the oscilloscope there, I'll just turn this on. So we only want to look at, it's out of lock, but you can see the, oh, here we go. I'll do this. I'll put it in lock for you. Okay. I'll try and explain this. You know when you push the button on the front of these and it goes into its fine tuning mode, and it sits there and makes that, whop, 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 whop sound, and, goes for about a minute, then it's meant to find the quietest part of the spectrum, well, in its timing range, and so not landing on, peaks of power line interference or anything like that. So if you push the little button, it'll sit there and it will move. I'll give you an example. I'll just do it with the pot here. It's looking at that, make sure she's okay. So it'll move like this, about that much, okay? So the whole tuning range will sit there and it'll go like doing that whop, whop, whop sound, and it'll tune, and then when it's finished, it'll go whoop and go back to where the quietest part of the spectrum is. But because we have this detector modified with variable frequency, see what we can do. Okay, we can adjust the timing there. Well, I'll just measure it out. I'll just set this up so she locks properly. Here we go. My hand's probably in the way. We get right on the edge there. Okay. We've got the detector 36.15 microseconds. We can run it longer than that, but what actually happens is you get longer pulses, but you also get the receive window is longer, but the dead time for target decay is longer, and it allows targets to decay or have a greater decay before you can pick up the signal. So I was doing a lot of experimentation with pulse lengths, dead time, receiver on time. You can actually reprogram all this if you want to get into the EEPROM. But anyway, there's ways and means of doing things. But let's have a look at where we go. The faster you run these detectors, the faster that dead time comes in. So any signal that would die off in something, say, that long, now you're picking up, you're moving this part here further, closer to where the transmitter turns off, and it can pick up anything that was going to die off. Now you can hear it. So if I get this here and adjust the variable frequency, like so, we're going up in frequency, well, up in, it's not really a frequency because you can see all the pulses are iggly-piggly all over the place. And I'll just, I might have to just bring that in a bit. Okay, there we go. They're the small pulses. I've just done the time-based difference, so we can have a look now. And there we go. And you can see there, it's 26.5 microseconds. So I can expand those ranges. I don't really want to go in too far. I don't want to set it up at 20 microseconds. The detector will have a hernia. You don't want to do that. You want to have it. What I found is you can run it say between, well, you wouldn't do this on a GP. I'll tell you that right now. Sorry, GPX. You would not do this on the GPX. You'll have hassles. You can run these to round about those numbers from 26. I always go 26 and a half, just give it a little bit of leeway there, up to about 42. You don't want to go moving down towards 20 or anything like that. The detector will become extremely noisy and it won't ground balance. There's also a issue that if you get down to around about 20 microseconds, like I've got this set so you can't go any further, it's not going to budge. There, I can only make it bigger or smaller. That'll really confuse the phase lock loop in the detector doing that too, by the way. But anyway, what you do when you start these detectors up after they've been modified, always start it at the highest frequency, and that allows the phase lock loop, which is part of the oscillator circuit. It keeps control. And if you do that, it will always, you can just adjust it like so. If you start it off in the low position, the phase lock loop will go out of lock and it'll sit there and make these horrible squawking sounds. And when you hear that, you go, oh, I've set the detector up and I've adjusted the frequency higher from where its starting point was, and it will just make crazy noises. So always, I'll give you an example. How about that? There's nothing like hearing it, is there? Because I've gone up and down like crazy. Oh, this one didn't care less. So hang on, we'll put the frequency down. Okay, oh, it is down. Okay, I'll turn it off. The frequency's down, so that's the lowest position, around about 35 or so. Now I'll turn it up and we're on. It jumps to frequencies, no problem with that, it'll work. Its little capacitors equalize and charge up and do what it's meant to do. Okay, now, God, it's quiet, isn't it? But anyway, let's go up in frequency now, and I'll see if I can make it spit the dummy. Hear that? That spat the dummy. It's not working. Oh, there it goes. It's cracked it. The PLL is totally out of lock, and it's very easy to fix. Well, it's not a problem. Turn it up, turn it full frequency, and turn it off, turn it back on, and it'll be perfect again. So that's one thing to watch out with these modifications about unlocking the phase lock loop. And once you start it down, start it up in high frequency, which it is, and we go down, won't care less. You can do this all day. Twirl it up, twirl it down. It'll stay locked. But it's just something you've got to keep in mind when you muck around with the oscillator. You must start it in the highest possible frequency, and then you can do whatever you want with it. So I've got that up too high at the moment, so you can't even see. How about I do that? That's your 3 short pulses there, and as you can see, low frequency, high frequency. And if you looked at the frequency change, if you did that auto tune, this is how far it would move in looking at that in real life. Before it was in 10 times, it would move this much. And I'm probably moving it too far. So that's what you'd get out of its tuning range. And by doing the variable frequency, this is our tuning range. Yeah, probably 100 times as much. So if you've got interference, you could always just go, you could hear it and you can go, I'll move it like that. You can just move it a fraction of a touch on the pot. Anyway, the interference here is across the whole spectrum because I'm inside the house with everything on. So it'd be pretty hard to get rid of it. But yeah, that's running really nicely. And that's a, because I'm zoomed in, I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, that's the switch for sensitive 2. And it's now, actually, I think I didn't have that in sensitive 2 when I was doing my tests. It's more sensitive than what it is. Anyway, you get an idea anyway of how this works, how it runs. Oh, there you go. I'll get some threshold up. You can just hear a little bit of beat frequency interference there. So if you want to escape that, it's probably still there a little bit, but anyway, that's how you tune these things. Tune it by ear. It's much better. If you want to tune it by the button on here, which is on the other side, watch this. This will be interesting. Okay, this is using, whoops, that's its auto tune function. Okay, you can see it's barely moving at all. It's moving, right? But I was just showing that the auto tune moves the time base or the pulse width, you want to call it, very tiny amount. It's hardly anything at all. What are we on? 50 microseconds, and with my eye, I think it's moved maybe about 10 microseconds. No, it hasn't even moved that. What am I talking about? I should have zoomed in on that. But anyway, it should have a nice quiet part of the spectrum. It's exactly the same, doesn't make any difference. It'd be funny if it did move 50 microseconds. I'd be in shock. There's me. See, I'm in GP extreme mode. I went to turn the power off, it's not. I put it in assault mode because that's where the power button is on closest to me on a GP extreme, or I think even the 3000. Yeah. So that's that, guys. That is how sensitive we can get these older detectors. Like that is in the realm of VLF, not a problem. And you can adjust it up, adjust it down, change the frequency, change the gain, make it, do a song and dance if you want. But yeah, that's it. That's it there. Lots and lots of research and development getting the detectors to behave like that, I tell you. Yeah, but very stable. Actually, that's a customer's detector. This is the way he wants it, so I've done it that way. And I think that somewhere in my collection, I've got 2 brand new 3500s, and somewhere, and I've got to go dig them up because I think I might build one up for myself and actually use it. I'm just amazed how smooth it is. It's really smooth. It's as punchy as almighty. Put your own added on word there. Yeah, and very minimal extra controls. They're basic machines. They're very basic and easy to run. You can set these up so damn quick and get going with it. And yeah, you can get big gold and tiny gold all at the same time just by changing a coil. Well, actually, you could probably even, I'd say this with an 8-inch mono on this detector would be an absolute game changer out there in the goldfield with, really thumping the ground with such a small coil. My God, it'll just chew through the hot ground, and it can get very tiny gold. So yeah, if you've got an old one of these things and you want it modernized, you can always contact us via detectormods.com. And If you do that, well, you don't have to go and fork out $8,000 or something for a new detector. Well, whatever they're worth these days. I heard they all went up in price. $10,000, $8,000, $6,000, whatever. You can get one of these and get very, very similar small gold performance, and you get very, very similar big gold performance and everything else in between. And in some cases, with the correct modifications done on these detectors, they will exceed the capabilities of some of the new detectors. So, people always think that, the new car is always the best. Well, I'd like an old Ferrari, probably go better than a new Ferrari. But yeah, this is the stuff you can do. These things, everything out there can be modernized and made to work better by newer components. And just applying what's been learnt over years and years and years to give them a good kick. So same thing, we can do this to all those detectors, SD2000 if you really want to. That's like updating a T model Ford. GPs are like probably, doing up some sort of medium stock standard muscle car. GPXs, you can do those again. You update those and change a whole heap of functionality on those. We can quieten down the 6000. It's been proven many a time. Works a treat. 7000, we can quiet that down as well. Had a lot of people with feedback from 7000s. They actually love it after it's been done. And yeah, 6000s as well. They're all gone back to their owners, except there's a couple here who hasn't gone back yet, but they will. And yeah, they should all be happy as Larry. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just waffling on now, aren't I? That's probably enough. And yeah, I'll get this out. I want to get this out in the field and give it a test. Or actually, I'll build my own up and do a field test on it because I've got two of them. Actually, what I could do, I could build one up and leave one standard and do some side by sides. You will freak out because the difference in depth on small gold will be astronomical. The other one, a standard detector probably won't hear it on smaller targets. You just walk over it, won't know it's there. And that also applies to fringe depth targets as well. Anything which is at fringe depth, you may just walk straight over it, where these ones, after they've been done up, will probably ping like hell on it and say, you just there's a nugget under your feet, whereas the other one wouldn't hear it. That's true. It's been proven, tested at a test site many a time. Detector against detector, different types of detectors against different types of detectors. There's years and years and years. What have I got? Some ridiculous number of videos. I think it's either around 300 or over 300. I think it what was it? It could be 365 videos or something I've put out there. But I've also got, I mistakenly put some other videos on another channel, which I never advertise and I don't use. So there's more videos than that out there. Yeah, for some reason I put videos out there under my own name. Yeah, and there's a sprinkling of them as well. Some of them are quite interesting. But this is the main channel now anyway, the Detector Mods channel. That's what I'm trying to stick with. And yeah, keep plodding along. Yeah, got a some sort of digital award from YouTube. He gave me some digital award cup or trophy or something, saying that over the last 28 days, I've had 40% more views of my videos, and I think it's hovering around 30,000 per 28 days. 30,000 views, that's all right. See if we can get up to 100,000. And by the way, subscribe so you don't miss anything. Sometimes I tell you what, I put stuff out and where it says it's going to do whatever, put it out there on the YouTube feed or whatever, it just is greyed out. It's just there, and if you don't know it's there, you'll never know. So it might pay if you subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any of this detector boosting, gold hunting, whatever. Yeah, I want to get more into going out doing some gold hunting. It's crazy. I do these detectors up. They work so much better, and I just don't seem to get out there and use them on a serious gold hunt. And that's what I want to do. I want to get out there. Oh, God, I found so much gold in the past. I really think that with the newer stuff, it'd be like going over the gold fields again. So I'm going to have to do that. Anyway, enough waffle. Yeah, waffle means talking too much. Okay, catches.